Hello there. So this is the city of Sherring. It exists in Cities Skylines. So the map we're looking at here it's called Seagull on the Steam Workshop, created by EJW. So I'll be kind of looking, just in this episode, I won't be doing any building, but just kind of looking at planning my city. So up here in this quadrant, I've kind of labeled nuclear power plant, so that's where I'll be hoping to build my infrastructure, power the city, and as well as a couple tags here for possible city center sites and airport sites that I'll be looking at a little later in the game. Just kind of leaving it open for now on different possibilities and options for where I can have these located. Just if you want in my comment channel, you can leave me some suggestions on where you would like those. So this here, it's a nuclear power plant I want to build. It's in this kind of inlet area, which I quite like. I think there's a good spot to kind of put it. It's kind of out of the way. So if there was some sort of nuclear meltdown, it'd be far enough away from the city. Although most modern nuclear power plants don't really melt down as the same way they did with older reactors. So you get this kind of nice inlet here, so it doesn't disturb too much of the water flow. Nuclear power plants, they require quite a bit of water, so that should be good for this. Yeah, so just here, kind of looking at where, probably where I'll put a couple cooling towers in the main facility. So just along the coastline here, I'm thinking about putting in high-density electrical lines, power lines, that will go into the main city, just kind of out of the way, possibly crossing with this bridge into this kind of island area. So these are also kind of the sites I'm looking at here. There's this island up here, kind of planning it to be maybe just small cottages, things like that, kind of like a little seaside town, seaside area. With the new expansion coming out, there'll be access to ferries, and I kind of want to limit the bridges the city has, so I think that'd be quite nice to have like a ferry system kind of going along into these little inlets and rivers. Yeah, it's kind of a nice coast here too, where I could put the terminals possibly down on the south beach to this kind of other beach. It's a little rocky. Yeah, then I got this kind of elongated island. I have an airport site on it. I did a previous build with this map, and I mostly just used it for farming. Might get rid of this kind of river in between these two islands too, maybe just make one big island. A little hard to work with though, it's just not quite wide enough. So see how it works later with the planning. Yeah, if there's an airport on it, it might be kind of difficult to plan around it anyways, because there'll be runways taking up most of the island. Then there's this sort of smaller island. Again, on a previous build, I made it kind of this interesting landmark. So this bigger island, it was also used for a suburb in that previous build, but if I put an airport on it, that'll kind of eliminate that anyways. Yeah, so I kind of have this little coast area just along this mountain ridge. I'm kind of thinking maybe like that other island, maybe cottages, like a little seaside town, or possibly even just like trailer parks or a small business center. Nothing too major. Yeah. So there's also this very long peninsula, and it kind of basically stretches out right across the map diagonally, which is quite good for building. It's not quite wide enough, so creating city centers and airports are going to be kind of interesting with this map. As you can see, I put city centers closer to the end of the peninsula. Site A here is sort of the main idea, or the main area I want to pick. It's kind of central to the peninsula, so traffic can kind of be directed in different ways, as opposed to just going back and forth. It is kind of close to a lot of these sites. If I do pick A, chances are site A for the airport would be the best, because I don't want the city center to be close to the airport, just so that buildings aren't hanging it, as opposed to B, C, and D over here, far enough away, I think, from site A, B, and C for the airport, so taller buildings should be fine. Site C, though, if I picked these areas, would basically fall out because I don't want my airport right next to my city center. I don't want planes coming near skyscrapers. So I plan the city to be fairly tall downtown, fairly developed. So yeah. Transit 2 would be kind of an issue with C or B, C, and D in the city center. I'd have to stretch quite a bit of highway just down to get down to it. Traffic would only come one way. However, they do have the best appearance. I mean, B looks right onto the ocean. D, you kind of get this view of this island kind of channel. And C, you get this kind of inlet between these islands, which is kind of pretty. In my previous build, C was sort of the downtown area, although you can't really see it in this view, but it's quite hilly in this area. Just it's a gentle slope, but makes things quite difficult to build skyscrapers for the most part. So this is site A for the airport. I'm not totally sold on it. It would take quite a bit of terraforming. It could work, but I mean, my airport runways, I want multiple runways, at least 2. They would only run in one direction, so my terminal would have to be either like right in the center of it, or they kind of like right at the end, which isn't quite efficient because then planes would have to come down this large taxiway. As well, where A is, it's right near this mountain range, so planes could only come in from certain angles. I mean, down this river and through the ocean would be the best. And site B is sort of similar. It has a little more forgivability. I mean, you could do a bit more terraforming. And it isn't quite as close to the mountains. C would be the best, I mean, in terms of area. It's this large island. However, it's really close to these areas I want a city center. So that makes it kind of difficult. And like I said, I don't want planes flying near skyscrapers. I mean, I could probably get away with site B there. Yeah. D, this one, it's sort of the ideal one just in my mind because it's the furthest away from the city center. It's just kind of out of the way. It's right at the edge of the city. It's right next to the highway, so transit is pretty easy. It also has the best ease for planes coming in. There's no mountains nearby, so it could come down right off the ocean if planes are coming in, say, across some islands or something like that, hypothetically speaking. So, yeah, next episode I'll be touching on this nuclear power plant. I want to build that first. I want to get the infrastructure kind of done. I like building the infrastructure first. I find in the past, when I've ever done like a town or something, had temporary stuff, I ended up building around it, kind of messed up the planning. So it'd be nice to get the power at least done first, in this kind of inlet. So yeah, so no building this episode, but next episode I'll be starting on that. And then episode 2, I'll look at building reverse separate. So hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you next episode.